Welcome to the second installment of a scientific approach to learning trading. Today we're talking about strategic goals and planning. As a reminder, this is an experiment in learning based off of the book The Science of Rapid Skill Acquisition. This is not a course. The first thing that we'll talk about with strategic goals and planning is how to create consistency. So ask yourself the question, how often will you practice? When will you practice? And for how long will you practice? Make a commitment to yourself and write it down. Whatever you decide, write it down and decide you are going to do it. So for example, this is my commitment. I will practice daily at 6 a.m. in the morning and at 9 at night before I go to sleep. And I will practice in total for about an hour a day. Set a goal of acquiring the skill versus acquiring money. You want to fall in love with the process and have the process be the reward in and of itself. So make learning the goal. I would also recommend that you don't set a time limit on your goal. This can be very disappointing. Plus, no one knows how long it will take for another person to learn trading. So if you say to yourself, I am going to learn how to trade in 6 months and I'm going to be profitable in 6 months, then what happens is if you're not profitable in 6 months, which is that's pretty likely because it takes most people longer than that. So if you come to the 6-month mark and you're not yet profitable and you have not yet learned it all, then you will be disappointed and you're much more likely to just quit and not go forward because you feel like, oh, I failed this goal. What's the point of going forward? So instead, we're not going to set a time limit. We're just going to set a goal that we're going to learn it, and however long it takes is how long it takes. Consider the 10,000 hour rule. So in Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers, he said that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to make a master. So if this is true, and if you practice 24 hours a day, it would take 416 days to master trading. Consider this number when making your goals, because that's a long time. And that's like 24 hours a day. That's actually impossible. So this is going to be a long journey in order for you to master it. But there's more. Daniel Coyle's book, The Talent Code, explains that it's deep practice that is more important than the number of hours of practice. It's the old quality versus quantity argument. So he says that you don't necessarily need 10,000 hours, you need deep practice. Deep practice is mistake-focused practice, which we will integrate into this experiment later on. The next step is to deconstruct the topic into fundamentals. So we want to break it down into the smallest chunks possible. For example, if we're going to break down trading into the fundamentals, here are a few options. If we're trading futures, we could say, what is a future? Like, you want to understand that on a very fundamental level. We could ask, what is a tick? Is the market trending? Is the trend ending? Is the trend bull or bear? What is a signal bar? These are some examples of fundamentals, but these are definitely not all of them. And I'm not even sure if these are good examples. But if you're looking for a really good fundamental course, I have the link down here. I'm going to put it in the description. The CME group has an introduction to futures course that is free, and I think it's actually pretty helpful. The book also says that it's important to mix media. So we should try to vary our learning. We should use reading, watching, discussing, trading. All of these things are important. We shouldn't just do one thing in our learning process. However, they go through how much each thing helps, and real life trading practice, basically real life practice, has a 75% retention rate. So your brain is going to remember 75% of it. And that is the best retention rate, second only to teaching others. So we definitely want to make sure that trading practice, hands-on practice, is a big part of our learning. Here's some examples of different media that you can use. So there's trading books that are out there. Some of them are better than others. You can watch other people trade with explanations on YouTube and on different places. You can watch the market as it moves. So just watch it silently, nobody's explaining anything to you. You're just watching what happens and just observe the market. That can be helpful. You can do paper trading, which is real life experience, and you can write in your trading journal, which is reflection and analysis. All of these things combined will help you to learn faster. The book also talks about how we have to choose our resources carefully because not all resources are created the same, and some of them will help you a lot better than others will help you. So I will point out to be careful who you watch on YouTube. And I'm not trying to say like you should watch me or that I'm any kind of authority at all. I'm just saying that you should be careful because I know for myself, I have watched people that have said things that I just took as truth in the beginning because I didn't know any better. And it kind of like pushed my learning back and made me misunderstand things in the beginning. And there's a lot of people out there who will try to tell you that if you do this, then 80% of the time it works. And that's just not true. That is definitely false because if there was this thing that was simple that somebody put on YouTube that 80% of the time worked, it would break the market. So that's definitely false, any of those kinds of claims. And anybody that tries to tell you how they're making like tons of money on YouTube, I would also be kind of hesitant and I would just want to check them out. Because if you're making tons of money, why are you putting your time into YouTube? So just check all of that kind of stuff out. False information and misdirection is out there. Be careful of it. Pick traders that you trust. And I would even say to limit your input, like limit how much you watch other people because you need to practice. That is way more important than watching other people, and it's more important than reading. Practice is most important. And in case if you are looking for some resources, these are some resources that I trust. So Al Brooks is like my number one. I trust him completely. He has some great books. They're really big, but they are excellent books. He has a YouTube channel. He also has a course. I have not taken his course. I think if you read his books and watch his free YouTube, you could basically learn everything. I don't think you need to take the paid course. But then also there's Mark Douglas, who has some good books, and there's Tom Hugard. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. He has a great book on the psychology portion, and he also has a YouTube channel where he trades and teaches trading, and I find him to be helpful as well. So these are just a couple of examples. I know that there's more good guys out there. These are just my top, I guess, my top 3, I would say. So now that we have talked all about goals and everything, this is my plan moving forward. My goal is to learn trading. I will practice daily until I learn. I will not stop practicing until I feel 100% confident. I will read, watch others, and practice paper trading. I will create videos on the fundamentals. I will not stop until I am a profitable trader. That is my commitment to myself. So this is my plan, and I would love to hear what your goals and your plan are. That's it for today. And then in the next video, we are going to talk about practice, which is a really big one. I think this will probably be the most important piece of the entire puzzle. So make sure you stick around for that.